So in this segment, before we talk about why the UK, but in my opinion, has no chance in training the 30,000 to 50,000 customs agents it needs before the border checks come into place next year. So in January 2022, is because we don't have a formal trading scheme, and also the fact that it takes about 2 years in other countries to actually become a customs agent. So before I start, I want to give a shout out to Eric G. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, but he has talked about in the Netherlands it takes 2 years to become a customs agent. And I also want to give a big shout out to Shuenix as well, who also not only told me about how long it takes to become a customs agent in Denmark, but also gave me a source about it as well. So thank you to both of you, because this is going to enable me to talk about more about why the situation for the UK is so dire. Because if we actually look at the delay, so the need for health certificates on imports such as meat and milk will be pushed back from next month to October of this year, and in-person inspections on such animal products due from July will now begin in January. So for multiple reasons, the UK will continue to struggle to get the necessary customs agents and vets in place, is because it takes between 2 to 5 years to become a customs agent, depending on the country you live in, and it takes 5 years to become a vet. So if we actually look at this page here this is from the Denmark government, who they don't really have private customs agents. It's all done through taxes, which is a much more effective system for dealing with this stuff, because the government can, as long as the government's competent, they can figure out what they need and how many people and go from there, especially because they have a system where you can apply to join as a student customs agent, I guess, or admin's person, and then you move on into the customs field. So, shouts out Denmark for putting this information pretty clearly, and Google Translate as well for putting this in English. So this is about student education. So it talks about here below. You can read more about student education in the Danish customs and what you can expect from the education and organization. So this is a 2-year office education. So this is to become a customs agent. A student position in the Danish customs is something for you. So this is to become to basically become a customs agent, I believe, anyways. Within Denmark. So this is a 2-year office education with the speciality of public administration. The education will alternate between school courses and internships at the workplace. You'll perform work tasks within some of the administrative areas we deal with in Danish customs. So they're going to be dealing with administration, case processing, communications and correspondence, customer contact, and telephone service. So, it is paper-based, so you need good attention to detail. So the education starts on September 1st every year. So they have a formal system of when people can actually apply. I'm not sure what this fully meant. You need a high school education supplemented by an EUS or EUX, and I wasn't sure what that meant. I did ask someone who isn't Danish but lives within the EU, and she had no idea as well. So who knows? But this is a 2-year course. You're paid for this course, which is great news. If you wanted to get in customs and you live within Denmark. So yeah, the working hours are 37 hours a week, and you receive a salary during training. So this is a 2-year course. So within Denmark, it takes you about 2 years to become a customs agent. So why is that important? So I couldn't find a ton of information on how different countries deal with it, because you have private and public sectors. But it's important because the UK they want to do customs checks by January next year. So that's less than 12 months, about 10 months away, right? If it takes 2 years to become a customs agent in other countries, the UK has no chance in recruiting all of these customs agents, do they? Forget the vets, right? The amount of vets that we need. Forget that for a second. The customs agents alone will not be enough. So, that's going to cause more problems when it comes to imports and exports. It also means that we may get stung by WTO members, because we're giving the EU an easier ride when it comes to imports into the UK. And so the UK's options really are that we can, lower customs checks for all countries, unless we have a deal with them, or we get sued. So they're the two options there. And if we look at, Norway, where's it gone? Obviously here, this talks about Norway and Sweden. Norway is in Schengen, but it's not within the EU's customs union, I believe. Um, so it says here, however, only Sweden is part of the European Union and, crucially, the customs union. There are customs checks between the two countries. This is about Norway and Sweden, but because Denmark is also part of the EU, Denmark also has to do customs checks. And if you look at it here, obviously you've got some of these countries here which aren't in the EU as well. But you've got Norway's up here and Denmark is down here, so there will have to be checks. Hence why one of the key reasons why Denmark would need customs agents. But they have a formal system for applying to become a customs agent, and they wouldn't need a massive amount like the UK need, because obviously Denmark is a smaller country, but it is flanked mainly by EU countries. So you've got Germany here, the Netherlands there, Poland there, and crucially you have Sweden here. Only Norway would be the main country where you'd do customs checks from, because if products are coming from Lithuania, unless they're coming by sea, which may take longer, they're going to come through Poland, which is a member of the EU. Obviously Belarus, Ukraine all share a border with Poland, so that's one of the reasons why Denmark wouldn't need a metric ton of customs agents. But because they have a formal system in place for actually training customs agents, and it's all taxpayer funded, the government is in charge of it, and the government obviously of Denmark seems to be competent, and they seem to actually know what they're doing. But if we actually look at the UK, there are no you don't have a formal system for training customs agents. This is something we have spoken about before. There are no licensing requirements in the UK for a trader to establish themselves as a customs agent. A customs agent's work is regulated by complex laws specific to the customs clearance and import and export regulations. So there are laws in place, but there's no formal system. So what that means is it's going to be very difficult for the UK to recruit and to train, crucially, to train enough people, because there's no formal system in place. And what that means is the UK have no chance in training all of these customs agents. We can try and pluck these people out of the air and say, oh, you're a customs agent now. But without them being competent and actually knowing what they're doing, they're pretty much useless. And they have 10 months to actually train enough customs agents to start implementing full border checks. And the issue is that it takes about 2 years to become a customs agent in Denmark, by the looks of things, according to the website. I could be wrong. That might not even be for a customs agent's position. That might be for a more junior role. But even if we assume that, I'm right, that it takes 2 years in Denmark to become a customs agent through actual formal training and for you to be competent at your job, the UK has no chance to achieve this, because even if we had formal training systems, the amount of time we have to train these customs agents is very short. So what that means is that we have no chance in getting enough customs agents. I hope this video has made sense. It is a bit rambly, but I was trying to figure things out, and say that, look, the UK has no chance in training enough customs agents to deal with all the import checks. And the only thing the UK can really do to avoid being sued by WTO members is to loosen checks with all WTO members, or we rejoin the customs union. They're the only two options that we really have here. This is embarrassing from the British government, especially because other countries have been preparing for this for years. The Netherlands, France, they've been preparing for this since 2017, because they had no idea what the UK was going to do, so they went for a worst case scenario. On the other hand, the UK did not do this. Also, the fact that these customs agents, these newly trained ones, are going to have to learn about each EU country's different standards when it comes to imports, because each member state has their own rules around imports and things like that. So that's something else these customs agents are going to know, and literally you're going to have to train them ridiculously quickly for them to actually have an idea about what they're going to be dealing with, especially since we don't even have the infrastructure in place to deal with this stuff. And even if we did have enough customs agents, by some sort of miracle, enough competent customs agents, we don't have enough vets as well. And these aren't just, as someone else in the comments pointed out, the vets that work within certain buildings where you take your cat when your cat's ill. They were talking about vets that are going to have to go out, late at night or to travel a bit to get to ports of entry, etc., or points of export, etc., to make sure all the animals are fine and up to spec. That's what they're going to have to do here. That's a difficult job, and you're going to have to pay people a lot of money to do these jobs. Otherwise, it's going to affect the export of live animals, and also the import of live animals as well, because we're going to have to check on our side as well, unless we want to get struck by WTO members. So look, hopefully this video made sense. If it didn't, I'll do a follow-up video and I'll try and make it a lot better than this one. But I did my best to kind of explain what the situation is about why the UK will not be able to get enough customs agents, and it is mainly down to the fact that we don't have a formal training system, and the fact that it takes about 2 years, between 2 and 5 years, to actually become a customs agent. So if we prepared this from 2017, we'd have a good shot at having enough customs agents. But because we didn't do that, and because we are still not doing that, and still with no formal system, what it means is that the UK is in big trouble. Big trouble, and we have little to no chance of actually having enough customs agents to deal with all of the imports and exports the UK is currently dealing with. So look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully the video made sense. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.